Welcome to Devotions Before Dawn. My name is Matt, and together we'll be sharing devotions every morning, Monday through Friday, one chapter a day until we've gotten through the entire Bible. That's 1,189 devotionals over the next 4.5 years. I look forward to this journey of growth with you, so make sure you're subscribed. Now let's get started. God has given each one of us incredible potential. And when we rally together and we unite behind a cause, we can do great things. But what are we using our potential for? And what are we uniting around? Genesis chapter 11, we're going to talk about the Tower of Babel. But not only a people or a nation united together is powerful. A family united around a cause is very powerful with great potential. And according to Psalm 86:11, where David says, "Unite my heart within me to fear your name." When your heart is united, when you are not divided within yourself, but you've set your mind to something and you are united in your heart to accomplish that thing, you have incredible potential, so much so that God takes notice. Let's read Genesis chapter 11, starting in verse 1. Now the whole world had one language, a common speech. As people moved eastward, they found a plain in Shinar, and they settled there. They said to each other, "Come, let's take bricks and bake them thoroughly." They used brick instead of stone and tar for mortar. Then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we will be scattered across the face of the earth." So the good thing here is the people are united. The bad thing is they're using their unity to benefit themselves rather than bless the heart of God. God made it clear in the first 10 chapters of Genesis that the people are to be fruitful and multiply and spread out over the face of the earth. And here they are saying, let's build a tower that reaches the heavens. Let's make a name for ourselves so that we will not be scattered over the face of the earth. Verse 5, "But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower the people were building. The Lord said, 'If as one people speaking the same language they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them.'" That is an incredible statement. God acknowledging the potential that He put within the heart and abilities of mankind, that when we unite together around a common cause and there is unity, we can change the world. Now, unfortunately, here in Genesis chapter 11, they use that to satisfy selfish ambitions. They use that in rebellion to God. But if we flip that coin over, if we unite as a church, if we unite as families, if we are even united in our own individual heart, our potential is incredible. Let's continue to read. Verse 7. "Come, let us go down and confuse the language so that they will not understand each other." Side note, we see multiple times in Genesis where the Lord is talking to Himself and He says, let us make man in our likeness, in our image. There is singular God, but there's a plurality to His nature. The three in one Father, Son, and Holy Spirit is showing up here even as early as the book of Genesis. But God says, I'm going to go down, confuse their language, they will not understand each other. Verse 8, "So the Lord scattered them over the face of the earth, and they stopped building the city. That is why it is called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of the whole world. From there the Lord scattered them over the face of the whole earth." Have you ever wondered how we have all these different languages? Well, the Bible has an answer for that. This is how it happened. It is quite simple and it is quite supernatural. God interjected Himself into history and turned the course of mankind. So here we are today, spread out all over the face of the earth. But again, I want to go back to that potential God has placed within us and within you. We are so much stronger when we unite together. That is why Jesus said, "I will build my ecclesia," or my church. And that word ecclesia in Greek means gathering. I will build my gathering, bringing people together to do the work of the Lord, the kingdom of heaven on earth is very powerful. And every now and then, I encourage you and remind you to become a part of a local church. We can do so much together. We can build this tower, but build it in honor of God rather than in the face of God. Do it to bless Him rather than to bless ourselves. And so when we rally together, there's power there. The ecclesia, the church, the gathering. And here in Genesis, sadly, they gathered after the man Nimrod we saw in chapter 10. They gathered to shake their fist in the face of God, to live in rebellion to God's calling for their life. And we know God is not going to lose. He is going to win. So let's unite together as churches. Let's unite together as country best we can. Let's unite together even in our families and our very heart. Let not your heart be divided between ways, having one foot in the world and one foot in the kingdom of heaven. Let's be fully committed to our faith and feeding that flame with more fuel each and every day. Let's be focused and united within our own heart. And as we do that, we'll see people around us unite, because that is an attractive quality. Someone who lives what they believe, someone who has great conviction, someone who is not dabbling in the ways of the world, but they're inspiring as they worship and pursue God themselves. That's when we will be at our best as mothers, as fathers, as grandparents, aunts, uncles, friends, neighbors, coworkers, whatever role God has placed you in, is when your heart is not divided. So here we see they united, they rebelled. Let us unite, and let us do it to glorify God. Our little church in Palm Desert, California, is reaching people for the kingdom of heaven all over the world. How? Through our missionaries, because we rally together, because we take up offerings and we're able to go out into the world and build awesome things that bless people all over the world, Bible colleges, orphanages, churches, paving paths through jungles to find people who've never heard the gospel. How do we do all that? We are united. United in vision, united in love for the Lord, and so we rally together to do the work of the kingdom of heaven. Let's read the rest of chapter 11. Let's see how hilariously bad I pronounce some of these names. We are going to do this in one take. If I mess up a name, we're going to mess up a name for your general amusement. We're going to start in verse 10. It's pretty much a genealogy from here. Genealogies are very important to trace the lineage of the Messiah, the Savior, and tracking dates of the world and the history of the world. It's very important to be accurate. So we're going to read it out because we are on a quest to read every verse of the Bible together. Verse 10. This is the account of Shem's family line. 2 after the flood. I already messed up. 2 years after the flood, when Shem was 100 years old, he became the father of Arphaxad. Remember him? Verse 11. And after he became the father of Arphaxad, Shem lived 500 years and had other sons and daughters. When Arphaxad had lived 35 years, he became the father of Selah. And after he became the father of Selah, Arphaxad lived 403 years and had other sons and daughters. Selah had lived 30 years. He became the father of Eber. After he became the father of Eber, Selah lived 403 years and had other sons and daughters. When Eber had lived 34 years, he became the father of Peleg. And after he became the father of Peleg, Eber lived 430 years and had other sons and daughters. Side note, whenever I see this name Peleg, I always picture a pirate, like peg leg, but it's not. He's not a pirate. He's just a guy. Verse 18. When Peleg, the pirate, it doesn't say that part. When Peleg had lived 30 years, he became the father of Reu. And when he became the father of Reu, Peleg lived 209 years, had other sons and daughters. When Reu had lived 32 years, he became the father of Serig. And after he became the father of Serig, Reu lived 207 years, had other sons and daughters. When Serig had lived 30 years, he became the father of Nahor. And when Nahor had become the father, and after he'd become the father of Nahor, Serig lived 200 years and had other sons and daughters. When Nahor had lived 29 years, he became the father of Terah. Now that's a name we should recognize. And after he became the father of Terah, Norah lived 119 years and had other sons and daughters. And after Terah had lived 70 years, he became the father of Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Okay, let's continue to read on in verse 29. This is the account of Terah's family line. Terah became the father of Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran became the father of Lot. While his father Terah was still alive, Haran died in Ur of the Chaldeans, in the land of his birth. Abram and Nahor both married. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai. The name of Nahor's wife was Milcah. She was the daughter of Haran and the father of both Milcah and Ishcah. Now Sarai was childless because she was not able to conceive. Terah took his son Abram, his grandson Lot, and Haran, and his daughter-in-law Sarai, and his wife, and the wife of his son Abram, and together they set out from Ur of the Chaldeans to go to Canaan. But when they came to Haran, they settled there. Terah lived 205 years and died in Haran. So we're seeing the lifespan shorten over the generations significantly. We see Lot and Abram being born here, and the next time we are in Genesis, we are entering the story of Abram. It is incredibly important to who we are today, to the gospel message today. This is getting into the thick of the book of Genesis, but for today, let us realize we have great, great potential as individuals when our heart is united within ourselves, as family units, as a nation, and I think, very importantly and often overlooked, as local churches, the ecclesia. When we gather, what can we build together? Thank you for sharing this time with me today. If you got something out of this, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Send this to a friend. Consider posting it on your social media. And before you go, let me know on a scale of 1 to 10 how you're doing. 0 being absolutely miserable, 10 being I'm on top of the world. And some good news is we will do this all again next week.